everybody, I am Jarrett Ross, the Genie Vlogger, and welcome back to another Professional Genealogist Reacts. On today's video, I will be watching I Found My Doppelganger and Tested His DNA by ASAP Science. ASAP Science is not only a channel that I'm familiar with, but I've actually already done a few reactions to videos they've done where I think one of them and their sibling did a DNA test, and then both of them also did a DNA test. I think it was 23andMe, can't remember exactly. I went and looked real quick before I watched this one, didn't have much time to check it out. But we did also see another video by another YouTuber about doppelgangers, where I think it was a girl who found her doppelganger and they did a DNA test, but it wasn't one that did DNA matching, which is what I really want to see. So I'm very hopeful that whatever they do today, they're going to look and see, do they share any segments of DNA? Because that's really the big question in my mind is, do they? Beyond that, I think in the other one, basically they looked at like DNA traits and stuff like that, which it's like, I don't know, as doppelgangers, I guess maybe that's kind of interesting, but I think it's much more interesting, do you share DNA and on what level and all of that. But beyond that, I don't really have anything else to say, so let's just jump into the video.
Is there someone out there that looks exactly like you, known as your doppelganger? You may have one. I know that I do, thanks to the internet. His name is Scott Hoying. You may recognize him from Pentatonix or from Superfruit, and people have been saying that we
Yeah,
look
that's
the same
right.
for
That's
years.
right. Yeah, Pentatonix. I was like, that guy looks familiar, but I'm not quite sure from where. And funny enough, if there's one YouTuber that I get compared to a lot, it's Pay Money Wubby. But in terms of me looking like Pay Money Wubby, I don't think that we really do, other than the fact that we're both gingers with beards. So, or I guess chubby gingers with beards would be the better way to put it.
ASAP Science is not Scott from Pentatonix. These are two different people.
So we went to LA to finally meet Scott, my doppelganger, and do Circle DNA, who sponsored today's video.
If it's Circle DNA, they don't do DNA matching, and basically we're not going to really get anything useful from this video. We're basically getting the same thing. We're dealing with the same issue that we had with the other doppelganger video, where they're just doing a DNA test that's not really going to tell them what would be the interesting part in my mind of, do they share DNA? I don't know if Circle DNA gives you your raw data. If it does, then I would suggest that they upload it to one of these other databases to be able to compare. But unfortunately, just hearing that it's Circle DNA, this video I already know is going to be a massive disappointment.
World's most comprehensive DNA test to find out if we're related. We wanted to discover how seeing doppelgangers actually links to your cognition, and if, according to science, everyone, including you, has a lookalike on this earth. We're going to meet my doppelganger. He looks exactly like me. I should take off my glasses because he doesn't have glasses. Look how different I look.
We are the win.
Since Scott and I end up in similar contexts, we both make TikTok videos, we both have done YouTube, we're both gay, and look freakishly quite similar. This is why your facial recognition neurons might get us mixed up.
Okay, boys. How does it feel to meet each other finally?
It's really weird.
It's weird. It feels
really
like
weird.
I'm meeting the brother I never had. I know, it does feel like we're looking in a mirror. It's the face shape. But I don't think we're actually like related.
No.
I mean, I hope.
Imagine. Like,
But we're not going to really find out with Circle DNA, unfortunately.
before we get to whether Scott and I are related, it's important to understand that seeing doppelgangers actually relates to your consciousness and your cognition for this reason. You are constantly seeing faces all day, at home, on social media, looking at TikTok, and your brain matches these faces to an identity without you even having to think about it. It turns out that a lot of your consciousness is based on predictions that your brain has made based on prior context. And our senses are there to back up what your brain has already predicted. When you are subscribed to Scott on TikTok, your brain predicts, based on context, that you could see Scott. But then all of a sudden you see a similar looking white gay guy talking to you down the barrel of the camera, and your brain predicts, oh wait, that must be Scott. But yoo-hoo, 'twas me. Your brain was actually tricked into thinking I was Scott. And now let's find out, based on these kits, are Scott and I related? So we're gonna start by going through like our diet, like physical traits, genetic traits, like things that we might have similar, like can you handle spicy? Who knows? And then we're gonna end with our ancestry and whether or not we're like fully, like have great grand.
So in other words, the majority of this video is going to be basically useless for me to react to. And it's not going to tell us anything that we would like to know from a genetic genealogy standpoint in any sort of sense. So the ancestry stuff at the end will be interesting, but I guess we'll check out a couple of these traits or something.
colors that makes us sisters. I don't think I'm a super taster.
Like the flavors are
yeah.
so intense.
I always like lie when like they're like, do you smell the oak and wine? I'm like, yeah.
Like,
but I'm like
100%.
no, it smells like piss.
No, I'm not a super taster.
It says I'm a super taster.
Taste sensitivity. I'm a
You
super
too!
taster.
Wait, that's not what we thought. Thrill seeker.
Thrill seeker.
By thrill seeking, I mean like having a dinner with someone I don't know that well.
Oh my god.
I'm like, oh, that's a thrill.
Leave the house.
Yeah. Yes, thrill seeker.
Thrill seeker. We're so much fun.
I dance all the time. I'm just high dance. If it says that I'm gifted in dance, I'm gonna be so depressed because I'm gonna be like my parents. I didn't want to play piano. I should have been in dance. So no one I'm actually saying I think I'm gifted in music and dance, and I just am sad I didn't pursue that.
Oh my god, it's never too late.
Really?
Oh, music. I would say yes, gifted. Just because like I did it from a really young age.
Yeah.
It came naturally. Dance, I would love to think so. Dancing ability,
Normal.
Adds up.
This is not fair. It says that I'm gifted at music. Oh my god. And it says you're not.
And it says I'm not.
Oh.
Just goes to show, if you put your mind to something.
I want to thank my mom and my dad for putting me in piano. It was the right thing to do. I didn't want to actually be in dance.
What we've been waiting for.
So like I went to Scotland once and my dad was like, get the tartan, and I was like, we're Scottish.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I feel like German. Oh my god, they're identical.
I'm 98.81% European.
Oh my god. You're
Very, very, very vague readings. With the main DNA tests like 23andMe, Ancestry, MyHeritage, Family Tree DNA, with their results, you might get some broadly Eastern European or Northwestern European or things like that. But this is just so basic, and it's very surprising that they would have such a mixture of broadly Europeans that, I don't know, I kind of really just question a lot of this, I guess. I don't know how reliable their admixture is. Usually at a regional level, unless they really are mixed ancestry, which is certainly possible. You know, based on this ancestry, they both have a big mix of stuff, but on the left, he has much higher Eastern European at 40.4%, meaning that probably one of his parents, assuming that this is correct, one of his parents would probably come from a largely Eastern European ancestry, and then the other parent would have a mixture of Northwestern and Southern. It may not be that way. It could be that both of the parents are also mixed. But then for on the right, he's getting much more Northwestern European, where the Eastern European is a bit less, still number 2. It really isn't saying anything in terms of doppelgangers. Like, yeah, they're both white guys, and they, you know, both look similar, so it wouldn't be surprising that they'd have somewhat similar looking admixtures, although wouldn't be always expected. So yeah, I mean, very similar, but very vague results.
You're whiter than me by 0.4%.
Oh my god.
I'm 98.45%.
Eastern European.
40% Eastern. My most is Northwestern European.
You are Scottish. We're very similar. I honestly think it just feels bad for us and it's trying to give us something else other than European, because it says I'm 1.19% African. Okay, we're white. We knew that. And we could be related. We knew that. Like, look at us. I feel more like a doppelganger.
I was starting to feel less until we saw the chart. Then I was like,
we could be related being the main point of what he's saying, because if you did a DNA test where you actually saw if you share DNA, that's what you'd want to see. That's what I'd want to see. Do you share actual snips on your chromosomes? So
fully.
Yeah, and I do feel like your vibe. I'm just like having so much fun.
And we have similar energies.
Yeah, and we both do this.
We both do this. We both have beers.
So Scott and I are freakishly similar. It was honestly super weird to be in his presence. I thought like his humor was similar to mine. And based on the ancestry, like who knows? We could have been related far, 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 far back. But of course, we are not identical, but we do look so similar.
Okay, well, that was unfortunately a disappointing video, although quite interesting in a lot of what they said, although I'm guessing I'll cut a lot of that out because it wasn't really anything for me to comment on from a professional genealogy standpoint. In fact, I'm kind of curious how long this video will end up being, because there's going to be a lot that I cut out in the final edit, I think. But really, nothing to say on my end other than, you know, Circle DNA is not a test that I would recommend for anyone looking to DNA test for genealogy reasons. Now, if you're looking for the traits and the health and whatever other stuff it has to offer, you know, go for it. You know, I don't really have anything to say there, but from a genealogy standpoint, not a recommended test. And especially in terms of comparing two doppelgangers, in my opinion, The focus, as I've said, would have been on, do they share stretches of DNA? And this is not the test to do that. To do that, you'd need to do an autosomal DNA test that allows you to compare with your genetic matches. So Ancestry DNA, 23andMe, MyHeritage, Family Tree DNA, or Living DNA. And then I think there are a few others out there that are a little bit lower, but of the ones that I would ever recommend, it would be one of those 5. So kind of disappointing, but who knows, maybe they'll see this video and it'll inspire them to retry this with a different DNA test and see maybe do they share actual segments of DNA. But if you'd like to see me react to other DNA test result videos, be sure to check out this reaction right here. Thank you to my Patreon patrons and YouTube members.